Imagine working 100 hours a week and walking away from that week getting paid nothing. Well, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about an interview that I did with a farmer who ended up doing just that. He was in the fetal position, lying on the floor crying at the end of that week, and he's going to share his experience about what burnout in farming actually looks like. And we're going to talk about what mental health experts say about recovering from it. Let's get into it. I'm Diego, Diego, and you're watching The Urban Farmer Rewind. And today we're talking about a conversation that I had with urban farmer Curtis Stone back in 2015 about a time that he got so burned out that he was left in the fetal position crying on the floor. This is an honest account of burnout and what that looks like. And it's something that's an important conversation to have because I think every entrepreneur goes through it, but very few talk about it. So today we're going to bring it to light and we're going to use his story to understand what burnout in business really is. And we're going to look at evidence-based strategies to prevent it and recover from it, because it is preventable and it is recoverable. And you might need some help to get out of the backside because it can often lead to very bad things. And that's what we don't want. So hopefully this episode helps keep you on the good side of life, not the bad side. Here we go. When we go back in time, here's what it sounded like in Curtis's words, talking about that breaking point.
It's horrible. I had times that I was so burnt out that I was like, not kidding you, in the fetal position in my underwear on the floor of my living room crying because I was so burnt out and so defeated and felt like nothing was going like my irrigation is screwing up, crops weren't germinating, I was producing too much of this and too little of this, and it was just like everything was going wrong all the time. The 100-hour work week definitely had something to do with it.
This wasn't about just being tired. Curtis was experiencing classic burnout symptoms: physical exhaustion, emotional depletion, and a sense of ineffectiveness despite giving extreme effort.
I got in this beast mode where I'm just like not screwing around, just going, and I'll forget to eat 12 hours later and I'll just pass out. And then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. completely famished because I worked a huge day and didn't eat. And that seems like a common sense thing to do, to eat. But sometimes you can get so carried away that you forget to eat. And so you have to be careful to step back, keep perspective on things, and take care of yourself ultimately.
According to the World Health Organization, burnout is an occupational phenomenon characterized by three things. First, feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion, like Curtis working until he collapsed. Second, increased mental distance from one's job or feelings of cynicism. Curtis felt defeated despite his passion for farming. Third, reduced professional efficacy. Everything was going wrong despite putting in 100 hours that infamous week. Remember, burnout isn't weakness. It's what happens when chronic workplace stress isn't successfully managed. In farming, with its endless demands and uncertain outcomes, it often creates the perfect conditions for burnout to not only germinate, but to stay around and thrive. If we look back, Curtis's body was sending clear signals that he ignored. Forgetting to eat for 12 hours, passing out from exhaustion, waking up at 4 a.m. panic sweats. These aren't badges of honor to wear on your entrepreneurial cloak like some pelt of some beast you killed out in the wild. It's a sign of things are going wrong. They're warning signs. And research shows that chronic stress and sleep deprivation impair decision-making, they reduce immune function, and they increase anxiety and the risk of depression. When you're too exhausted to think clearly, small problems become catastrophes. In the episode, Curtis mentioned something very crucial. He was trying to solve everything alone, but isolation amplifies burnout. This is especially true in farming, where the culture often celebrates self-reliance to an unhealthy degree. Just work harder. GSD. Become the answer to every problem. Even when working harder is literally the wrong thing to do, and when working harder is literally killing you physically and mentally. So what can we do about burnout? Well, mental health research identifies key strategies for burnout recovery. One is boundary setting. This means defining non-negotiable limits on work hours. Not, I'll try to work less, but actual boundaries. Research shows that without clear work-life boundaries, recovery is nearly impossible. 2, sleep prioritization. Studies consistently show that less than 7 hours of sleep impairs cognitive function, equivalent to being legally drunk. You wouldn't operate farm equipment drunk, but sleep deprivation over a long time creates the same impairment. 3, social support. Having people to talk to, whether that's mentors, peers, or mental health professionals, it's crucial. Curtis mentioned having his own mentor, Gwen Steele, and that was a lifeline. That's not dramatic. It's accurate. Find somebody to talk to. It's okay. Everybody goes through it. You're not alone, and often talking to someone can make you feel a whole lot better. Recovery isn't just about working fewer hours. It's about addressing the root causes. It's not putting a Band-Aid on a systemic wound. It's solving the problem at its core. So you want to think about different ways to get to the roots of problems. With task prioritization, you can use something like the Eisenhower matrix, sorting tasks into urgent and important. This helps prevent everything feeling like an emergency. You want to try and delegate or eliminate tasks if you can. Not everything needs to be done. Not everything needs to be done by you. And I know that's hard to wrap your mind around. I can see you out there thinking, I need to do everything in my business. No, you don't. You can get somebody to do it, or nobody can do it. And nobody's going to notice that nobody's doing it. You only think it needs to be done, but it really doesn't need to be done. So delegate or eliminate. And I know this can be hard for farmers and other entrepreneurs who pride themselves on self-sufficiency and pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, but we're past that. You don't want to burn out. Delegate, eliminate. And then 3, take regular breaks. Research shows that breaks aren't wasted time. They actually improve productivity. The Pomodoro technique is one great strategy. 25 minutes of work followed by just a short 5-minute break that can help you maintain energy throughout the day. But beware, burnout tends to reoccur if only symptoms are addressed. Long-term prevention is going to require a few things. 1, regular self-assessment, weekly check-ins on your own stress levels, sleep quality, and emotional state. Catch early warning signs to prevent full-on burnout. 2, sustainable systems. Build processes that don't require heroic efforts to maintain. If your business model requires 100-hour work weeks, the model's broken. It's not going to last. You might be able to do it for a week or 2 or 3 or 4, but you're not going to be able to do it for the years that you need to keep that business afloat. 3, professional support. I know it sounds taboo. I know nobody wants to do it, but for many people, it's often the best solution and the only solution. There's no shame in talking to a counselor or a therapist or just somebody that wants to listen. Mental health is health. You wouldn't neglect a chronic infection within your body, yet we neglect some of these chronic infections within our mind. So if you need help, seek it out. End of story. I know we live in this world of bravado and machismo entrepreneurship where it's just about getting ish done. But we all need to recognize as a community that sustainability isn't just about soil and water. It's about the farmers too. And working yourself into the ground, it's not noble. It's not something that you should brag about. It's not good for your business. And it's certainly not sustainable. The most successful farmers in the long term are those who stick around for the longest. They're the ones who build systems to preserve their health and maintain their health and enhance their quality of life, not destroy it. If you recognize yourself in Curtis's story, or you feel like you might be burned out or on your way to burnout, here are some evidence-based first steps that you can take. 1, set a firm stopping time today. Don't just say, I'll stop when work is done. Set a specific time and stick to it. 2, schedule 1 full day off per week. Not negotiable. The farm won't collapse. 1 day off a week. You don't do work and you try not to think about work. 3, tell someone how you're really doing. A friend, a family member, or a professional. Isolation makes everything worse. There must be somebody in your life that you can open up to and stop holding it in if you're truly suffering. Don't bottle it up and shove it down because that's where it just ferments and gets worse. Get it out to somebody who cares and who can help. And 4, track your sleep for 1 week. If you're averaging under 7 hours a night, then likely that's not going to work in the long run. And one of your first priorities should be to fix that. Just sleeping a little bit more should help with a lot. And when we go back to that story, there's Curtis laying on the floor crying after that 100-hour work week. And that was then, but he eventually went on to rebuild his approach and got it down to working around 20 hours per week on the farm. That's a far stretch from the 100 he was working when he burned out. But in order to go from 100 to 20, he had to hit rock bottom first. The great news is you can learn from him bouncing off the bottom, and you don't have to hit rock bottom to eventually change things. If you're regularly working over 60 hours a week, experiencing physical symptoms of stress or feeling emotionally depleted, these aren't normal entrepreneurial challenges. Don't tell yourself, this is the life I live. This is just what entrepreneurs go through. This is what Elon and whoever else does. They don't. At least they don't in the long run, because it's not sustainable. What you need to be doing is looking at these things as warning signs, because that's what they are. You're likely on your way to burnout and you don't want to get there. If none of that hits, think about it this way. Why do you farm? You might love the farm, but a lot of people start a business because they need the money. And if you need the money, then you need the business to stay in business to keep the money coming in. That means your business needs you to be healthy in the long term so you get paid. If you shut down, the business shuts down, you don't get paid. If you have a family, they depend on you to be around both while you're working so you can bring the money back, but also to be present and happy when you're not working. So there's another reason not to burn out. You deserve this. Don't just be in survival mode, be in sustain mode, because we're all in it for the long term. If you haven't done so, go back and listen to the full episode of Urban Farmer. That's season 1, week 23, because I think Curtis's honesty talking about burnout helps normalize the conversation. As I said in the beginning, this is something the farm community doesn't talk a lot about. It's something the entrepreneurial community doesn't talk about. And it's something, frankly, most people don't talk about. We don't like to talk about our problems, yet everybody's got a bunch of them. So I hope this helps because too many people suffer in silence, thinking they're alone or weak. And the truth is, you're neither. If you're struggling, reach out for help. Call a doctor or a medical health practitioner or a mental health helpline. Building a sustainable farm, building a sustainable business starts by making your life as the entrepreneur sustainable. Remember, at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to survive farming. It's to build a life that's worth living while you farm. It's not survival. It's rival, if that's a word. Thanks for watching this one. If you need additional resources on farmer mental health and burnout prevention, please check the description below. And if this video helps you, let me know in the comments below. I know this is different than the usual business stuff that I talk about, but I think it's very, very important. So thanks for watching this one. And until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work, just not too much of it.